Alrighty. All right, we're recording, we're live. So for those of you that are not on the call and you're listening to this recorded, and for those of you who are on the call, first and foremost, Brad and I want to say, first off, thank you for trusting in yourself, to invest in yourself, to learn some information and learn a process that has been a blessing to not only my family, to Brad's family, and to many of the people that have came before you who we've taken through the same exact process and we've taught. I know it's a big step to invest, especially if funds are tight for you. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that this will be one of the best investments you've ever made. If you take it seriously, if you listen to what we tell you, if you follow what we tell you and really spend the time and the knowledge and the research, really just diving into what we do teach. This has been years and years and years of study and research, and just all in all, just a lot of work has went into what you guys are going to be delivered over the next 5 to 6 weeks. We've set this up in such a way so you guys could learn optimally, so you guys can just be able to retain all the information we give you. You got to understand, at some points you may be overwhelmed, but hopefully by the way that we're delivering the content to you guys, which we're trying to refine on a daily basis. We've worked on the entire day on just upgrading even the systems for this new 6-week course, or 5-week course, that you guys all just joined up on. So you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna see some changes in what that looks like for you guys. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's went into this, guys. I know some of you may be scared. Some of you guys may be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. The cool thing about what we do and what we teach and what we're going to help you guys understand is it's something that's never going to go out of style. And many of you that I spoke to on the phone, we spoke about this at length, about how there's different network marketing companies out there, or different opportunities, or affiliate marketing things, and different stuff that you and I have all seen and have all came in front of us before. And some of those things, as you guys know, are here today, gone tomorrow. And we've all seen those types of things. One thing we can know to be certain is local businesses will always need customers. And when you become an expert, and hopefully we can get you to expert level in the next 5 weeks, but it is a process. You're not going to be an expert in 5 weeks. But when you become an expert, or when you are an authority in that marketplace, and you're able to deliver to local businesses and national businesses, as you get even better at what we're going to teach you, it's a commodity that you'll always be paid handsomely for. So many of you guys have jobs. Many of you guys work for companies and corporations, and some of you are retired from our speakings together. And we all come from different walks of life. But no matter where you live, no matter how big your market is, how small your market is, what we're going to teach you is applicable to where you live and what you do, and you can take it anywhere you ever want to go. So to me, that means a lot. That's the reason Brad, who's not on this call, he's down in Cabo right now, was taking care of some R&R, I suppose, but he's down in Cabo right now. I just got off a Skype call with him. He wanted to be on the call, but I told him it wasn't really necessary on this first call. But it's the reason he stepped away from what he was doing, and he felt so empowered to really get behind this and walk away from a $250,000 business that was still generating income as of last week. That says a lot about what we're teaching and the passion that both Brad and I have about it. For everyone that came before you guys, who we have trained and taught this process to, we have some fantastic results. So you don't need to be any sort of guru for this to be easily added into your repertoire of skill sets. This is simply something for those of you who have made the decision to invest in yourself, this is a matter of you changing your lifestyle by adding something new that you can absolutely profit from and live the lifestyle from a passive standpoint, where you don't have to commit your hours and trade all your time for dollars on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, like so many of us have all been through. For those of you that I've spoke to more at length than others, my name is Dan Klein. I've been in the local marketing space since 2008 after I was fired from my corporate job, where I spent 50 to 60 hours a week pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into helping another company make a ton of money. And then one day when I was no longer needed for their services, they decided to cut me loose. And that was at the point in my life where I decided I didn't want to ever be in that position. And I know from talking to many of you guys, that's the position many of you guys are in at this point. You don't want to be, just another employee number. You want to actually blaze something different in your life so you can live a certain way. And so I think in this first phone call, what I like to always do in this first phone call is really get everyone else or everyone on this call out on the right foot. The way our course is going to line out, I'll talk about that a little bit more. But getting on the right foot is the absolute best thing we can do, and that's really why Brad and I have went away from putting this course in front of you all at one time and trying to have you learn and almost drink out of a fire hose. We want to chunk this thing down for you guys so it's very manageable. And all we ask from you guys is that when you go through what we tell you to go through and you go through the content, that you take good notes, that you write the questions down that you have, so that when we get on the phone 2 days after each one of our weekly calls and we do Q&As, that you're asking questions that are relevant to what you're currently learning, to things you're getting stuck on. Also understand, since there is a lag time, there's going to be questions you have that you might not think they can wait till a couple days later. You guys have to understand is we work with an enormous amount of people, and it's just growing on a daily basis, that are looking for these same skill sets. So please respect us as much as we can. We're going to do, what I always say is whatever it takes to get you guys to your guys' goals. Just respect us and our time and what we do. Please no text messages or phone calls to our private lines. Please allow the questions and answers to happen on these phone calls. This is how we've set things up. There will be frequently asked questions inside the members area, so you guys can refer back to stuff. And then also understand that many of the things that you may come across, we've already addressed them because so many members have came before you, and we've already we have the Q&A stuff and those things. They'll be available to you module by module. So, just spend the time and understand that, take some responsibility. The process that you're going to go through is going to be super important, that you guys really dive in and really take this thing seriously. You've made an initial step financially, which is huge, because those who pay and invest pay very, very good attention, is what I found. People that don't invest don't pay very good attention because they have nothing to lose. Well, you guys have put a financial risk out there. Now all I'm going to ask you to do is over the next 5-6 weeks, just really pay attention to what we teach you and implement exactly as we say. One of the things that I've seen over the last several months of working with people all over the country is that many people try to recreate the wheel. And what I want to ask you guys to do is don't try to recreate the wheel. If we show you how to do something a certain way, stick to the process. I'm not saying you have to stick to our process from here into eternity, but my goal over the next 5 to 6 weeks is to get you guys making money, okay? And the only way I can do that is if you follow what I put in front of you. And the only reason I put certain things in front of you is because those things are currently working to generate me income. So I don't want you to overthink this. I want you to kind of keep it simple and stupid, which is in so many instances should be very refreshing for you guys. This doesn't have to be a very heady, technology heavy. You don't have to get this. You don't have to be a genius to be able to do what we do. Well, what we really believe in is taking local businesses who need customers and connecting those 2 points together, using technology as a main hub to do so. Things like search engine optimization. We're going to learn all of the tricks and tips and stuff like that that both myself and Brad, who Brad probably is one of the experts, or probably one of the biggest experts I've ever met in that niche. Brad, for the last 5-6 years, has dominated search engines for some of the most cutthroat niches. In fact, I believe his Lazy MLM site is in the top 10,000 sites in the USA, which is absolutely amazing. So you're learning from a guy that, in my opinion, is one of the authorities when it comes to high-level SEO. But with that being said, just because it's high-level SEO does not mean it has to be that hard to understand. A lot of the stuff that he's doing is simple and stupid. And so understand that. Don't overthink this. Don't go and research other stuff, at least in these 5-6 weeks while I have you, and Brad has you. Don't go and try to use prior knowledge and stuff like that. Follow the process. We're going to keep it very, very simple: A to B, B to C, C to D. Okay. So those are the main things that I really want to get through, I guess, before we get started. I think the thing that I want to really touch on next is, and this is the importance really of this call. So many people on these first calls, what they want is they want the strategy. Dan, give me the strategy on this first call. I want to, you're ready to go, and I totally get that. But that's where so many people mess up. And so this call is probably one of the most important calls. Number one, for you guys to understand, what the next 5-6 weeks is going to look like for your life about charting this new course. But secondly, I want you guys to get very clear on your goals. Number one, I want to know, everyone's got different goals. We got people on the call that just want to add a couple extra $1,000 to their bottom line so they can do some extra things in life. And we got people that want to blaze a trail that is much, much larger, and both are fine. But if you don't know where you want to go, it's very hard to get there. So many people set off into any new business venture, even into schooling or what have you, and all these different things that we've done in life, and they don't really have proper goals figured out. So if your goal is to replace an income and get out of a job and that type of thing, first and foremost, we want to set realistic goals. Probably the number one question that I get asked on all phone calls when I have an initial call, an initial strategy session with anyone is, well, how fast can I make money? And it's a great question. But I think before we get to that, before it's not all about just the money. Of course, that's the result we all want. But we need to break down, and we need to be much more clear on how much money we want to get to and why. Why do we need to make a certain amount of money? And so what I want you guys to do is, between now and Tuesday is going to be the kind of the kickoff call as we move into strategy, I want to get absolute clarity for yourself. I want you guys to come up with absolute clarity on what your goals look like, why they look like it, why, the number one thing people say is, I want to make $10,000 a month. And my question is always why. So I want you to know your why in life. Everyone's got their own why. Some people's why is, I want to be able to go visit my parents, and I want to have enough money to do so. Some is like, I'm sick of working a 9-to-5, and I want to kill my job, and I want to do this. So everyone's got their own why. So I want you to look at the monetary as a goal that we're going to shoot for and be realistic about. But I also want to know monetarily why you want to get to those goals. And I want you to set a 3-month goal. And a 3-month goal, I want to shoot for that goal with you guys, and I want to keep you honest on that goal. It's very important that we're all on the same sheet of music going forward. And us as coaches and mentors to you guys, we're going to keep you on path. I am a little bit more vocal than Brad, and I'll probably be leading you a lot of the way. But Brad, you'll see the majority of Brad, probably most in a lot of the training videos on the search engine stuff, more the nitty-gritty stuff. I'll give more of the business stuff and the leadership stuff to you guys. I'm also, when it comes to how I deal with you guys, is I have that tough love mentality. Some people like it. Some people don't know how to handle me. I'm just letting you know up front that that's my mentality, and that's how I will deal with you to help you get to your goal. Many times I feel as if I want you to make more money than you want to make for yourself in a lot of my prior students. And so that's how I'm going to treat you, as if your pocketbook was my pocketbook. And so if you get that tough love from me, understand it's out of love. It's out of understanding that you and I, we all spoke about your goals, or we have an idea of what your goals are together, and that we're simply doing what we should be doing as coaches to get you there. Okay? So knowing that, the question and answer days are going to be the days where, I will call you out if I think you're slacking. So don't show up to that call if you slacked off, because I'm going to keep you on your pace. Think of us like personal trainers just for the internet marketing space. And instead of letting you guys just do whatever you want, we're going to have pretty regimented workouts online, setting up these business models for you guys, and making sure you guys stay on pace, and that you're not deviating with silly ideas that you think are a good idea, at least during this next 5 to 6 weeks. So from now until our call on Tuesday, what you will be doing is the following. Number one, I want you guys to write down why you invested in this. Okay, your why. I want you to write down in the next 3 months your monetary reasonable goal that you want to hit. Okay, and then I want your why on why exactly that goal is important to you. So I want those 3 things down, because I believe, like I said before, if we know where we want to go before we start going, it makes it a lot easier to chart a course to get there, right? If we know that $5,000 is the number we need to hit in the next 60 to 90 days, it does change the way that we approach the businesses and the niches that I will help you select. There's certain niches that are going to move you faster, but so there's different things. So those goals are important for me and Brad to know about, so we can keep you on your P's and Q's. Okay, so those are the things I want you to do between now and then. Now, you guys were given a username and password, as I told you at the start of this call, to the clickcoaching.com. Most likely, you will be getting another username and password to, as we migrate some of this membership stuff over to a more, it's going to be a more scholarly setting, all the same content. But between now and Tuesday, I have removed many of the videos that I don't want you watching right now and filling your head up with senseless knowledge that you don't need at this point. They will come later on. But between now and Tuesday, I want you to kind of get a foundation for a lot of the stuff, more techie stuff that we do. Now, with that being said, there's a couple people in this group that I know to not be as technology savvy as others, and there's a couple people in the group that I also understand are more people savvy. So with that being said, there's going to be things that we teach inside of a lot of those foundational videos that you're going to start going through over the next 4 to 5 days that you may make, or they may make you feel very uncomfortable. They may make you feel like you don't want to do that specific thing. You might think, what did I do? Why did I sign up for this? I have no idea what these guys are talking about. Don't you worry. That is totally, totally normal, is that there's going to be some things that sounds like a foreign language to you, or there's going to be some social things that you're like, I would never do that. Don't worry. We got your back. We've done this before. So understand that those things have been thought through. We're trying to give you a broad foundation. So when we build this house, we don't build it on some sand and it falls down. We want you to understand everything about the model, even though some of these things you may never do because it doesn't fit your ideal business and your ideal lifestyle. Okay, which brings me to my next point. With any goals, as we set monetary goals and we figure out your why and why you did this and why you wanted these specific monetary goals, I like to really get clear as well, and massive clarity on this actually, on the things that you know that you don't want to be doing after you get some of this foundation. So as you start getting the kind of the ins and outs of some of the stuff we're doing throughout these next days, I'm not going to overwhelm you over the next couple of days, but you're going to know, like, hey, I would rather not do stuff in the technology. Like, I don't really want to be doing this part of that. Okay, that's totally cool. Okay, but write those things down. I want you guys to, A, not be doing things that you don't want to be doing, and find solutions or show you solutions how you don't have to do that part of the model. There is not one thing in the model we're about to teach you in the next 5 weeks. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. There's a solution, and we already know what it is on how you can have someone else do it for you. Okay? So understand that. I want you to, obviously, right off the bat, I believe strongly in you knowing every part of your business that you're about to dive into, because that's obviously important. Being a business owner, as I am, I own several local businesses. Although I don't know how to put on window tint, or I don't know how to put in an auto glass, or I don't know how to do certain things in some of my businesses, I sat around and I've been explained to how to do them. Not that I probably could do some of those things because they take a lot of skill, but I know how to do them. I know how to hire for them if I had to go hire for them. I need to know my business. So it's very important, specifically in the start of this thing, that you guys go through those foundational steps. You understand at least what's going on from a high level, and then you write those things down before the next call of the things that, you would probably not be so good at, and the things you're going to be a little bit better at. And then us as coaches are going to be able to put pieces together for you. Now, with that being said, when you can't do certain things, or you choose not to do certain things because you don't think it's very fun, or it's not as sexy for your lifestyle, that generally ends up costing you money. And what I mean by that is if you, for instance, are deathly afraid of talking to other human beings, and you would never want to go talk to a local business owner or send them an email or do some of the different tactics that we explain to get your project set up, we have plenty of people that would be willing to do this for you, but understand that they will be taking a piece of your business if you were to outsource it to them. So that is not a problem for many people if it gets rid of some of the things they just absolutely can't stand doing and that they would never do. The main point of what I'm trying to tell you guys is there should be no excuse for failure in what we're about to teach you, because we've broken the entire thing up so you can't fail. Okay? We've broken it up so that if you don't like doing one thing, we have people that can do it for you. Or we know people that can do it for you that'd be happy to joint venture with you. In certain instances, our students come to Brad and myself, and they look for us to joint venture and partner on deals. We happen to do this quite often, and we're happy to do it, but it's by a case-by-case basis. So we don't joint venture with every person on every deal because, A, we're busy, B, every deal doesn't always make sense for us. But if we don't joint venture with you, we have 50 other people that have raised their hand and asked for, if people are struggling with certain elements of what we teach you, that they're ready to be joint venture partners. And that's only going to grow. And I imagine many of you in this group, as you get about 3 to 4 to 5 weeks into this thing and you become part of our solid core group of clients, you too will probably want to joint venture in the things you guys are good in as new students move through our courses. And you're more than welcome to let us know when you get to that point and when you feel comfortable at that point. And it does open up a lot of other opportunities in areas and markets that you may never have thought you could have been in. So, I've been talking a lot. I have you guys all on mute, so the recording's clean. Hopefully you guys are all still there. But between now and Tuesday, you have your work cut out for you. And Tuesday is when strategy is really going to start, and we're going to all begin on our first project. We're going to pick a niche. We're going to get started. You're going to get directed to the content right after that call to start moving. And then Thursday, we will do a Q&A, and it will be the same every week. I will take requests if people have certain times that they absolutely can't make it, but I'm going to try and keep consistent to try to be open, have this time between 4:30 Pacific Standard Time and 5:30. We may change it to 5:30 for some of the people on the West Coast that are in this group that need to get off work and need just an extra 30 minutes. Hopefully that doesn't hurt too many people on the East Coast, but every call, unless I screw it up, will be recorded. It generally takes a little bit of a time for us to take the call from being an MP3 and get it into the members area, because we like to go through each and every call and time code it. So if there's certain areas of the call that you want to just flip right to, if it's an hour or hour and a half call and you don't want to listen to certain other areas, you can easily move through the content on these calls. So we like to time code those things just for your guys' use and ease of use. So sometimes it can take us a couple days for the rendering and the time coding of all these things, but it's a very useful resource for you guys to move back to these recorded calls, and be able to gather some information you may have heard from earlier on. Okay, so you guys have your steps necessary to move to next week's call, or before next week's call on Tuesday. You will get an email, and we do post in the members area as well. Any notes? If there's anything we need to communicate with you guys, we will communicate with you via email. As I said before, please respect our cell phones. Please respect our phone lines and not calling us. If there's an emergency, if there's something that you need to communicate, email will be the best bet to start. And if there's, like, again, if it's an absolute emergency and you need to get through to us, it's okay for a text message or a call. But please be just be mindful that we're people too. We have businesses, we have things going. We're going to serve you at the highest level possible, and we're going to do everything in our power to get you to the success level. Just give us a little respect that we're going to be with you every Tuesday and Thursday to answer questions. If it can't wait for whatever reason and we didn't answer any of those things, an email would be my best form of contact, and then we will contact you back. And at some point soon, we'll probably have a ticketing system, which you'll have to go through a ticketing system to put a ticket in. But oftentimes, there's very little left to things you won't know, because we have put so many more people through this before you who have already asked the questions that we know you're going to have, and we have broken this thing down to be such a chunk-sized pieces and bite-sized pieces that you guys will easily consume this and easily understand it. So before I talk to you next time, first of all, thank you again for investing in yourselves, because I believe this to be one of your best investments. If you take it seriously and you follow what we teach you, you're going to learn not only a bunch of content you've never heard about before and processes you never heard about, but just some really great business models that you're going to be able to take into so many different aspects of your life from here and for years to come. So thank you first and foremost for investing in yourself. Thank you for trusting your business, your life, your income in Brad and my hands. We do not take it lightly. We are here to serve you. We're going to do whatever it takes to get you to that next level. And be watching your emails for that email from Brad and I for next week's call and the time, depending on the feedback I get, whether it's 4:30 or 5:30 PST time, Pacific Standard Time. We're just going to play that by ear. But again, everything will be in the recorded section. It is, what is it today? Thursday? Is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. So I will see you guys on the phone next Tuesday. Hope you have a great weekend. Please get through that content before the next call, because we will be speaking about things in that call that you saw in that content, and it will make so much more sense for you as we start rolling out the first strategy. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon.
I think we're in. We're live. Holy smokes.
Cool. All right, so in this video, we're going to run through some hypothetical keyword research just so you get an understanding of how we basically go about this. Below this video, we'll throw a link to Longtail Pro. That's the keyword research tool we recommend. We have the platinum version. It's not a must-buy, but I think it makes things quite a bit easier. Let me share my screen.
Cool. In the meantime, if by some reason a fire engine starts going off at any time during this video, just understand my office is right across from the fire station. So nothing to be alarmed of if that does happen.
Do I pick desktop? Is that going to show everything? Let's
yeah, if you hit share, just hit over on the far left. It will be like share, and then once it'll probably pop up like a picture of me. Oh, there I am. And then yeah, you can just flip it over to one of your like a different place of your browser. You'd be good.
So it'll record everything I have shown up right now, right?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I'll shut up because it'll keep switching to my face.
Okay. All right, so let's go through basically 3 quick examples, and even though you'll probably, well, not probably, you'll only be starting with 1, I think the more live examples we can walk you through, the quicker you'll get the hang of this. Okay, so let's do an affiliate, then an online network marketing thing, and then a local thing. All right, so typical affiliates, you know, the first make money online course you probably ever purchased, if you purchased one. Probably told you how to go pick a product on ClickBank, which is just a digital marketplace, and then sell it for a commission. Okay, so that's, of course, an option. I've done a lot of this in the past. Again, same pros and cons apply. Super easy, totally hands-free, no customer support, no selling. It's awesome, but it's also super competitive because this is what everyone teaches you how to do. But let's say you want to go the affiliate route. ClickBank would be one option that you could sell something from. You could also go to like Amazon.com and sell physical products. But let's say you want to sell something on ClickBank, and of course, everyone usually goes in like health and fitness. And then you can look at the top selling programs. So let's say you wanted to sell the Venus Factor. This is just a diet plan or whatever. It's a digital product. You get about $46 per sale. Okay, so not bad. So let's do the Venus Factor. And then all I would do is pull up Longtail Pro once you have it purchased, and let's go to add new campaign, just call it whatever, the Venus Factor, English, US, Google, sure, create campaign, and then all we have to do is type in the main keyword here, the most general keyword that you think people would be searching for. I really don't touch any of the other options, to be honest with you. It's pretty simple if you just do it like this. Click Generate Keywords. Let Longtail Pro do its thing here. It's going to spit back a bunch of keywords. Here you have the exact keyword, and by the way, if you're super new, a keyword is just a search phrase that someone's going to Google and searching for. Okay, so the Venus Factor would be one keyword. Don't let that confuse you, even though it's keyword singular. Most keywords have multiple words in them, if that makes sense. So the Venus Factor is a keyword. The Venus Factor reviews would be a different keyword. So here we go. This tells you the local searches, so searches that are specific to the country that you selected, in this case the United States. So the Venus Factor, you can see almost 10,000 searches per month. The Venus Factor reviews, 1,600. Just Venus Factor minus the about 10,000 as well, and you can go on and on and on here. Then what we like about the Platinum version is it spits back a KC right here, and the KC score is keyword competitiveness, and this is just a number from 0 to 100. And the higher the number that it gives you here, the harder this keyword is to rank for. Okay, so this is a really super easy way to sort of gauge how long it might take you to rank for a specific keyword. Generally speaking, anything over 40 is pretty darn competitive. 30s is moderate. Below 30 is pretty easy, especially with what we're going to be teaching you. You know, low 20s and on into the teens and below is just like super easy. That's the type of stuff where you could pretty much just put up a new blog post or a new YouTube video and maybe even have it on page 1 like instantly without any backlinks. Okay, so ideally we're looking for something in the teens and 20s to start with, but if it is in the 30s or 40s, we can absolutely go for it. Just know it's going to take a little bit longer to rank for. Sometimes as much as 3 to 4 weeks if it's, you know, something like 40, 42, 44. Okay, so I would hit the KC score on a few of these and see what we're looking at. and then I would basically just pull out like a text document here and take some notes. So if this is what we wanted to roll with, we would say, I would put the keywords here, so the Venus factor, and then I would put like the searches, 9,900, and then I would put like the KC38, the Venus factor reviews, 1,600 and 34. Venus factor review 880, 34, and so on and so forth. So I would get a list of the top, let's say 10 to 15 keywords. I would mark down what the keyword is, how much search volume, and what the KC is. Okay, is this all making sense so far, Dan?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, cool. So there's really no right or wrong here. It's not like, you know, you might be asking yourself, okay, so, you know, what would give you the green light here? The truth is that it depends. It depends on what your goals are, right? If your goal is to get into the money as quickly as possible, then you're going to want to find something, you know, with the as low of a KC as possible. If your goal is to build something that's going to make the most over the long term, then you don't really pay too much attention to what the KC is, and you just say, I'm just going to go for it because I know once I get to the top of Google, it's going to be worth it. You know, it's going to be a post or a website that's going to make, you know, tens of thousands of dollars per month. That's kind of what I did with the Empower Network. I knew it was competitive. I knew it was going to take a while to get there, but I also knew that I was just going to keep going until I got there. And once I did, it would be well worth it. And that's, you know, look where I'm at today because of it. Okay, so there's no right or wrong here, but go with something. If you're going to be an affiliate, just go with something that you've purchased before, that you've had success with, that you enjoy, that you believe in, that you're familiar with, because it's going to make your content that much easier. So that's my only piece of advice. And then also think about how much you stand to make per sale, and you have to factor in two things for that. Number one, what you get paid per sale, and number two, how much search volume there is, okay? So we don't want you working your butt off to get ranked for something that's searched for, let's say, like, none of these were here, and the top keyword, meaning the most popular one, was only searched for 480 times, and it was still like these KCs, KC of 40, right? Well, if there's only 500 searches per month for something, let's say it was only 500 searches, and it was a KC of 40, and you got paid, what was it, like $40 per sale. I mean, when you start doing the math on that, even if you were number one and converted really well, you're only going to make, I mean, $500 to $1,000 per month, more than likely. So it'd probably not be worth it. So you want something with big search volume and/or something that pays you a lot per sale, so that it's going to be well worth your time to get to page one. All right. So those are some of the things you have to weigh out as an affiliate. And then this is how you come through. You compile your keywords, and you can start sort of gauging what you might make once you hit number one. And if we really want to get technical, take out a calculator and think about, I usually take the highest volume keyword here, so let's say just 10,000 searches. And then if you're number one in Google for that search phrase, you're going to get about 40% of the clicks. Is that what you've kind of heard or seen, Dan, about 40% of clicks in the number one spot?
Yeah, pretty close to that.
Okay, 10,000 times 0.4. So you're going to get about 4,000 searches to that, let's say, blog post per month. 4,000 searches, and what would you say is a typical conversion, Dan? Like 2%?
Oh man, it's so tough because that's yeah. I'm you know, your content is huge. You know, like you see some of these affiliate marketers who they spin out an Animoto video with like pictures, streaming by, and you know their conversion's like 0.0000 whatever, or maybe they never convert. And then you get the guys. That's why it's so important, like Brad was saying, that you spend the time and really know the product, like the product, buy the product if you have to buy the product. Or, you know, I would recommend definitely buying the product. So you have firsthand experience with it, so you can talk about it intelligently, or find people that have the product and interview them, and you know, get a good, like a really good testimonial, a really good review, so people that are looking at buying it can consume some content. Put yourself in the purchaser's shoes, and would you buy from your own page? If you read your page and you were thinking about buying that product, would it convince you enough to click through to that purchase page? That's going to really like that's going to be such a huge factor because traffic's good, but if you can't convert, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, figure it at 2% just to be kind of like right in the middle.
Okay, I'm actually gonna. Sorry, I started typing, but let's err on the side of caution. And I always try to underestimate if I am going to do estimations, so you can be pleasantly surprised if anything. So let's say you only convert 1% of sales, right? Let's say there's about 10,000 searches per month for the biggest term. You get about 40% of those clicks. So guys, what I'm saying is, if you're ranked number 1 and there's 10,000 searches per month, you're not going to get all 10,000 people to your site. Okay, there's heat map studies that prove this because the person in the second or third or fourth spot might have a sexier title than you or something like that, or it might be someone who has Google authorship with their picture, and they might skip over your spot even if you are number 1, and they might click on second or third. So you can never assume that you'll get all 10,000 searches. So that's what I did there. I took it times 0.4 to get 4,000 people to your actual site per month. Even if you're ranked number 1, just 4,000 people. Convert at 1%, that's 40 sales times $40 per sale. That's $1,600 per month, okay? Now, $1,600 per month. Now, there are a few ways to look at that. So if this was me, and that's not counting in, you know, all the other, there's actually quite a bit of volume here, you know, when you add in, I mean, if Venus Factor truly has another 10,000 searches, you know, you can add that on. So there's actually really good volume here, and it does pay out pretty well. That's the beauty of digital products. So this actually wouldn't be too bad of a product to go after. You know, it's pretty stiff as far as competition, but as you can see here, you know, especially if we doubled this traffic by taking all these keywords into account, you know, we might have a $3,000 per month business right here. Now, I say business, the cool thing with affiliate marketing, this could just be one badass review page, right? One page, let's say you pour your heart and soul into it and spend 4 hours on it, which no one does, but you should, because this is the type of stuff it can generate. You know, you do that post once, you spend 4 hours on it, you tell people everything they could possibly want to know about this Venus Factor product, you show it, maybe you go through it and do your before and afters, just make awesome content that converts really well, and you might have, you know, if you do get it to number 1 using the strategies we're going to teach you, which you should be able to do, you know, you might have anywhere from like a $1,500 to maybe you really crush it and get number 1 for most of these and make 3-4K per month. So that would not be a bad little affiliate business right there, okay? Now with the KC of 40, based on my experience, you'd probably want to give yourself a good month to get, you know, towards the top of page 1. We're going to show you how to do it as quickly as possible. If you're in the Players Club, you know, and this is like a direction you decide to go, you'd already be en route to page 1, so that would definitely speed you up. But this is just kind of how I would weigh out my decision. And again, there's no right or wrong. I might look at this and go, at this stage in the game for me, I would pass on this, right? Why? Because I'm already making about 40K per month off of affiliate stuff, and so another $1,600 per month isn't that sexy to me, especially when it's pretty competitive. Now, if I was brand new, I would be a little bit more excited about $1,600 per month, right? So, like in this case, I still might look for something a little bit easier because it's not like a huge number that we stand to make here, and it's still pretty competitive. But this is just kind of how I would go through, do the numbers, look at the keywords, and weigh everything out. Does that make sense, Dan?
Yeah, and it also shows you how important that your conversion is, because if that went to 3% conversion, you're talking about $4,500 a month, basically.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. So conversion is a very important factor in spending the time. Unlike so many Looney Tunes who they try to promote, and they spend no time on the content. It's like, dude, come on, what do you think?
Yeah. Yep, that's why there's 3 parts to our system, you know. It's like the right blog, the right content, and the right rankings. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to do, which almost no one knows how to do, is ranking in Google. So that's a lot of what we focus on, but we are not going to skimp when it comes to, you know, optimizing your blog and, of course, content. Content is huge. We're big believers in on-page experience, and we know that we can rank easier and faster and longer with a great user experience. We also know that, like Dan said, conversions can double, triple, quadruple with little tweaks that we've made on our own affiliate and network marketing and local income streams. So we're going to be big on helping you guys out with that as well. But that's a really good rundown of just how I would think out, totally unscripted, a potential affiliate product, in this case, a digital product off ClickBank, okay? So now let's run through a potential online like network marketing example, since some of you will be doing that, okay? So let's go back here, same thing. If we were in Vima, I would probably just type, now I don't know anything about Vima, so you'll have to excuse me if you're in Vima and you're like, dude, you're not even, you know, saying the right lingo. I don't even know what Vima sells. Is this the one you used to be in, Dan?
Yep.
Vima, is it energy stuff?
No, they do. Well, yeah, they do energy drinks, and that's Verb, I think, is the name of what they sell for that. But it's a dietary supplement.
So the cool thing about network marketing and MLM companies is that there's typically huge volume, and because most of them are old school and tell you to, you know, make a list of everyone you know and throw home parties and do three-way calls and do it all offline, there's like no competition because they don't teach you nor do they encourage online marketing. So there's huge volume. You know, look at what we were just looking at was like 9,000 was the top search term. This is 135,000, and guess what? Easier to rank for. So that's why, that's the only reason that was one of the main reasons that I considered even joining the one I joined, which was Empower Network, is because I just couldn't deny these numbers. I was like, wow, you know, if they're paying that much and there's this much search volume, and it was new at the time, so it wasn't quite as competitive, I'm like, I could crush this compared to like the affiliate example that I just went through. So again, same thing, I would come through here, I would see what people are searching for, I would see how stiff the competition is, I would take some notes if I thought this was something I was going to go with. 135,000 searches, KC 30. Vima scam 27,100. 33. Vima reviews 2,400. 27. So on and so forth, okay? So I might do the same thing for this. I might say, okay, 135,000 searches. Let's hypothetically say we could get you to #1 in Google times 0.4, because you get about 40% of that traffic. So you get 54,000 visitors to your site in this case, okay? Now let's say that same 1% conversion, which I found, and I don't really know what the reason is, but I found for my online network marketing thing, I actually convert higher than with affiliate products. I'm not really sure why that is, but let's just say it's times 0.01. That would be 540 sales. Times, now this is where, you know, you'd have to be familiar with the company, and of course you would be if you were in it. Dan, you probably don't have any idea. Let's say you're like, well, all in or whatever they call it. You could make as much as possible. But do you know like what you'd make on an average sale here? Any ballpark idea?
Can't remember, man.
Okay.
It's, yeah, you know, because it's like it's a monthly recurring revenue of like, I think they spend like $120 a month, and I think it's, you know, network marketing businesses are so different.
Yeah. Let's say it's like $50. That might be really generous. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's super generous. I don't think you make even close to that in that company. I think it really depends on your volume and all that. Oh, so they're like,
let's do $20 per sale.
The sun, the moon, and the stars have to align. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Let's say it's $20 per sale. That'd be 10,800. Okay, per month. Of course, very hypothetical. You'd have to know this number, right? I'm not trying to pitch Vima. That's the last thing I'm trying to do. I just picked a random one that I knew Dan had mentioned in the past. So you'd have to know, like, on average what you make per sale to really do this and get a ballpark estimate. But, I mean, look how much potential is here. And this isn't specific to Vima. This is like any big MLM that you search for. You're going to see huge search volume and very, very rankable KC scores here. I mean, this is, like, if you were in Vima, I mean, this is awesome. It's 25, 26. I mean, this is low-hanging fruit. Thousands of buyers you could get to your site pretty easily with what we're going to teach you, okay? So then it just comes down to conversion and how much you make per sale. Okay, so this would be how I would go through and sort of estimate whether or not this would be worth going after. Okay, and of course, I would want to be in the company and believe in the products and all that good stuff. But you can look around, you know, if you're in the market for a new MLM or something, you know, and this is, you could run through some examples and see what's out there. All right, so that would be like an online network marketing example. And then we could do a local example. Now, this is a little bit harder to show you because there's so many different ways you could run your local business, and there's different niches you could go after, different business types. How do you want to do this, Dan? Do you want to go through one of our clients, or do you just name a hypothetical profession and city and kind of go through it?
Yeah, let's do like something in Phoenix. Let's do like dentist.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yep. Phoenix dentist. Okay, so let's say we're in Phoenix like I am, and I wanted to be like the go-to SEO guy for dentists locally, okay? So I would probably, first thing I'd probably search for is just Phoenix dentist and see what type of search volume is out there. Now this example is more for like, so you'll know how to run your business, you'll know how to rank these dentists, you know, you're probably not going to be ranking your site for Phoenix dentists unless you're sort of using your SEO to snag SEO clients. But this is how, let's say you scored, let's say you went in to get your teeth cleaned and you pitched your dentist and he's like, yeah, prove it, and I'll sign up for a $2,000 per month contract. Okay, so this is how you would go about, you know, doing his or her keyword research and sort of making your strategy. Let's say they were in Phoenix, you do a search like this, see what the competition is, see what people are searching for. And then you would start taking notes and prioritizing based on search volume. And I would say like buyer intent is always a big one. And of course, average KC. Okay, so you would take down, you know, Phoenix dentist, 480 searches. This stuff's also, especially if you're doing local SEO, this is huge for like your pitches. If you are going to go in and pitch someone in person or pitch them over the phone, or we can help you with creative ideas too. Like, you don't have to sell in person. I think you could totally blow up your local SEO business by making really smart like screencast videos and showing them what you do and how you do it, and showing them the search volume and where they rank at in Google and where you could take them to, and then just sending them to the video. Do you think that would work, Dan? Or?
Yeah, actually, I've landed clients the exact way. I went on Craigslist and saw someone post like, "Hey, I'm looking to hire a web guy," and then I went to their site. I did my keyword research. I showed them what they were missing out on by not ranking. I let them know that I was an expert in the arena, and that I could get them the results that they wanted, and that if they're interested to contact me back. And that client has now, like, I think it's like 3 years now I've had that client.
Wow.
At a monthly reoccurring revenue of $550 a month, so that's somewhere in like the $12,000 to $18,000 mark. I think we brought in from that one Craigslist video I made and sent and emailed it back over to him. It was super easy. I didn't have to meet them in person. I pitched them, and then they called me up and they're like, "Let's chat. This sounds awesome." It was so it totally works. Totally works.
That's awesome. See, that's just like a random case study right there that I didn't even know he had, and it just proves you're only limited by your imagination with this stuff. Like, you can design your business to run exactly how you want. You don't have to conform to anything that you don't want to do. So Phoenix dentists, Phoenix dentists, dentist Phoenix. But anyways, what you could do here is, I mean, you could do a screencast video, and really you want to simplify the jargon and make it short and sweet and obvious to the non-technical, you know, dentist or whoever you're pitching it to. But you could say, look, these are what people are searching for, right? And then you can go to Google, do those searches, find their site, you know, buried on page 4 or 5 or 6, explain to them that no one goes past the first page, so essentially they're getting 0, you know, web presence if that's the case. And then explaining to them that what you do is you make it so that they rank #1 when these 500 people are going and searching for Phoenix dentists, and then say to them, if the average lifetime value of a client for you is, let's say, $3,000, and you know, you convert it whatever percent, you can run through numbers and sell them that way, or pitch them in person or over the phone that way. So this kind of serves 2 purposes when you're doing a local business. But then let's say you already landed the client. This is just how you would go through and map out their strategy. Now you can see right away, just like we said, in our original video where we gave the pros and the cons, the thing that's always so sexy from a pure geeky SEO standpoint about local SEO is it's so freaking easy. So we went from 40s in our first example on down to teens and low 20s in this local example. And Phoenix is a big city, you know. Like if you're working with smaller cities, it's going to be even more unimpressive, I guess. So you go through, make a list, think about buyer intent. Speak with them about who they want more of. Do they want more emergency dental patients? Do they want more veneers patients? Do they want more cosmetic patients? Do they want people who just want teeth whitening? And then you can go back and go down all those different avenues. So you could go, instead of dentist Phoenix, you could do teeth whitening Phoenix. And if you're struggling identifying a niche, you know, we can definitely help you with some ideas to go down. In general, when you're first starting off, it's typically going to be easier to niche down and dominate one space. Like, how many SEOs do you think are out there branding themselves as the teeth whitening at the SEO specialist? You know, so if you're the only one doing that, and of course every dental office pretty much offers teeth whitening, but if you're the only one doing that and they want more teeth whitening patients, do you think you're going to have an easier time selling them as opposed to positioning yourself as, hey, I help local businesses do SEO, I help everyone, I work with everyone. That's what everyone says. If you're the one guy or gal who does teeth whitening for dentists locally, you know, you're pretty much money in the bag right there if that's what they want more of. And you'd be surprised, like teeth whitening Phoenix, 140 searches. So there's good search volume here, and I guarantee this is super, well, we'll see in a second, but I would assume that this is super easy to rank for. And then you can start adding in all the suburbs, you know, so around Phoenix, of course, because I live here. I mean, look at that, 15. That's like, you could make a YouTube video called Teeth Whitening Phoenix, upload it, and you're probably going to be on page 1 right away with 0 backlinks. So this just shows you how easy this is. And then you become familiar with the area, and you start adding in the suburbs like Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and so on and so on and so on. And then you would range them by buyer intent of the search term, total search volume, and competitiveness, in addition to speaking with them and seeing specifically what types of patients they want to see more of. And then, of course, working out the monetary potential there, it just comes down to really knowing what you're going to charge people, right? And again, you set the terms. This is what we want you to realize, is that if you go in there and don't have confidence in yourself and don't really believe in the potential that you bring to the table with this SEO knowledge, it's easy to go in there and start pitching people on like these $500 packages, which is that case study you were talking about, Dan. That's what you did probably right off the bat because you really didn't know how valuable you were, right? Now you would never pitch someone for $500.
Yeah, not a chance.
Okay. So, you know, it's totally up to you. But Dan and I pretty much, when you make an offer to a local business these days, I mean, first of all, you want to start with the business that has a high lifetime value per customer so that you know they have money to spend. And then secondly, we're not really interested in working with anyone for less than a couple $1,000s per month recurring for the long haul, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you set your own prices, be bold, know what you're worth, target the right types of businesses, and just go in there like a boss and say, look, I'm going to get you to the top of Google. I know you make a bunch of money per customer. If I can get you a handful more customers per month, you know, you're going to make X amount per year or whatever it is. Give them real honest data and show them what you can do for their business and, you know, kind of put it out there and say take it or leave it. And of course, Dan can help you with some of the sales strategies to land these clients. But this is how I would go through and do the keyword research for an affiliate product, an online network marketing product, and then a local client, in this example, like a Phoenix dentist, okay? So if you guys have any questions, hit us up in the private Facebook group. Dan, do you want to add anything to close this out, or did I miss anything?
No, the only thing I would say from a keyword research standpoint, you know, I know Longtail Pro kind of gives you the ideas of when you type in a specific brand, but, you know, there's definitely, you know, there's other ways to do keyword research as well, as far as like when you really start brainstorming about how people might search.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe just touch on that a little bit on like buyer intent keywords for those that are maybe have not heard about that before. Just it's very easy to understand once you explain yourself, but maybe just give them an example of what a buyer intent keyword would be like and stuff like that a little bit.
Okay, so also you brought up a good point that I would say like something like Longtail Pro Platinum is your go-to. You always start there, but then to add more keywords to it and get more ideas, you can always come to Google and do like use Google Instant. So start typing the keyword and see what Google spits back, and these will give you ideas. And some of these ideas then you can go and take and plug back into Longtail Pro Platinum and then see what else it brings up. But this is how you really dig down and get a lot more keywords, is using stuff like this. So Google might come up with something that maybe you didn't see on Longtail Pro, right?
Yep.
Genius Factor, does it work? I didn't spell that right, but let's do this. You can also do the search and then scroll to the bottom, and they usually have, you know, the search is related to, so you can go down here and get some related terms that you can, you know, add content on, and we'll be covering content in later videos. But leptin resistance, leptin diet, you know, Barnes and Noble. But these are things that help you create content that the search engine, Google, is seeing as super duper relevant, which makes you rank easier with fewer backlinks. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there, but this is 2 extra ways: Google Instant and then the related searches at the bottom. That's 2 extra ways to get even more keywords for your keyword research. And then let's jump back to buyer intent, like Dan said. So this is huge, right? Understanding this concept is the one thing that really blew my affiliate business up. I went from, you know, kind of struggling to get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month and kind of yo-yoing up and down, to really going, okay, you know, if I can rank in Google, there's a big difference between, because when I first started out, I had a fat loss site, and I learned how to get tons of traffic because I was ranking for like celebrity workout review, you know, Joe Blow diet plan, where I would just rank for like a celebrity name plus diet plan, and there was tons of searches for those. So I'm like, oh, you know, I'm the man, I'm crushing it, look at all this traffic. And I was always bragging about my traffic, but I was never making much money. Why was that? Because I didn't understand buyer intent. So I was only looking at volume and thinking, if I get more people, I'm going to make more money. That's not the case, okay? One of the fastest spikes in income I've ever had was when I was targeting people who were looking for coaching. And ironically, that page in the search terms I was trying to rank for, which was like coaching terms, that was one page that ranked for like the smallest volume of searches of something I've ever gone for. So the fewest searches led to the fastest spike in my income. Why? Buyer intent. I was targeting people who wanted to spend money, but more than that, wanted to spend a lot of money. Because if you're searching for a coach, just like we sold you coaching, you know firsthand you're willing to drop down some money, you know, to take this shortcut. So buyer intent. Let's go back to fat loss, because that's a good example. You know, people are searching for like diet tips, right? There's tons of search volume for diet tips, and the rookie, like I did, would go, okay, man, if I could rank for diet tips, I would be rich, because there's, you know, what, 40, 50, 60,000 people searching for diet tips. But here's the reality: we don't know what's going on in the mind of someone who's searching for diet tips. This could be a 16-year-old high school student doing a research paper. So obviously she's not trying to buy anything. She's just trying to get some data for her paper that she has to turn in. This could be an 80-year-old grandma, right, who wants a diabetes diet. This could be a 40-year-old man who's just trying to get a little bit healthier and get off his blood pressure medication. This could be a 28-year-old, you know, meathead who wants to get ripped and compete on stage in 6 months. So we know nothing about the person who's searching for this, and come to find out, many of them, if you did get ranked for this, you wouldn't make much money. I can guarantee it, because I've done it before. And because it's lots of information seekers, and they're all over the place, and it's hard to decide what to even sell them, because like I said, it's a 16-year-old girl and an 80-year-old woman and a 40-year-old man. It's all over the place, okay? Now, let's think about buyer intent. What's something with lower search volume, but where we know exactly who's searching for it and what they want to buy?
Well, Venus Factor Review would be a simple one. It explains buyer intent, right?
Yeah, Venus Factor Review. They know what they want already. They're searching for the name of the product plus review. So they're looking for one last review before they pull out their credit card and buy. Okay. What are some other examples? How about buy weight loss supplements online? Okay. It doesn't get any more buyer centric than that. When the word buy is in the search term, that's usually a pretty good indicator that their credit card's out and they're ready to buy something, okay? So these are some examples, but it seems easy, but don't gloss over this. Don't let this go in one ear and out the other, because this is how you rank and bank, as opposed to just ranking and seeing cool traffic and nothing happening. Does that clear it up a little bit better?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay, cool. So should we wrap this bad boy up and then we'll see him in the next video?
I think so.
All right, peace, guys.
Yep.
What is going on? Dan Klein here. In this video, we're going to go over the local monetization models that you can choose from when jumping into the local marketing space. Obviously, there's tons of different ways to make money, whether it's pay-per-call, flat fee, share a sale, whatever it is. Okay, there's tons of different ways to make money in the local market. I'm gonna go through some of my top favorite models. Number one, I'm gonna go through the reason why some are easier to sell than others, and some of the ones that you should maybe start with versus others when you're just getting started, or maybe if you're a veteran, that type of thing. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so first and foremost, this is the one that pretty much every company out there sells. Let me talk to you a little bit about it, and we're going to talk a little bit why the business likes it and why the business likes it or dislikes it, and why the marketer dislikes it or likes it. Okay, the flat fee model. Let's talk about that. So the flat fee model is pretty much what Yellow Pages does, what every magazine does, newspaper, whatever. It's very simple. This is our fee to get this service or this, whatever. So in the internet space, it'd be, if you're doing SEO, hey, for my SEO services, it's $2,000 a month, flat fee. Okay. Well, what do I get? Well, you get us doing SEO for you. So there's not really any guarantees other than you're getting this service for me. We're going to be working towards this goal. And with SEO, because it is so vague, it's not like a newspaper where, oh, I saw my ad. Businesses have got taken over and over and over again for this because they don't really know how to track, and there's really no way, or there's not a way you truly could guarantee results and just refund people's money, which is the right thing to do. But most SEO companies will not do that. They'll just say, hey, well, we get results, check our other clients. No, we can't guarantee you them, but we have pretty good results. But that's why business owners don't like this model. The flat fee model is a model that's really great once you get up and going because you have guaranteed income. So I kind of try to break everything down on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest level of desire for the marketer and or the business owner, or the marketer and or the business owner, on how they feel when they're presented this model. And so at each one of these slides that you're going to see, you'll see my levels of desire. So for the business owner, this is a 1. This is the least sexy thing that they can get into, is a flat fee SEO deal. And the reason why is like they're taking all the risk on their shoulder. You as the marketer are brunting none of the risk. None of it's on your shoulders. It's all on theirs. So at the end of every month, if you got them 1 call or no calls, or you got them 1 lead or no leads or whatever, they're still paying you whatever that fee they agree to. And business owners, me being one, can't stand stuff like this. We just can't. And put yourself in the business owner's shoes. You wouldn't stand this either, especially if you didn't get results and you'd signed up for one of these flat fee models in the past. It's the old way of doing business. It can work, and I do try to transition my clients to this in the future once we've built that trust and once we've already been kind of working together long enough. So just the accounting's much easier and we can kind of just level things out. But for the marketers, this is the most desired level, and this is what you'll see 99.9% of all companies out there pitching, because they're not willing to step outside of a flat fee model because it starts putting more risk on their company, and a lot of companies don't want to take the risk, so they'd rather just not take on these extra clients if they would have to deviate from a flat fee model. Okay, so business owner desire level is very low, marketer desire level is very high. So we have the pay per call / pay per lead model. Okay, and this model is it's good. It can be very lucrative depending on how well you negotiate your call and your lead fee. Now, for local business owners, what happens is their mind starts going into, all the wrong places. They start thinking, if you came at these people, this is probably before they know you, like you, trust you, and you say, you know, hey, I deliver phone calls or leads for a living and I charge X. What they start initially thinking is okay, well, you know, well, what if I get a call and I don't get a sale? Well, you know, on the outside level, let's think about this. You ran an ad in the newspaper, paid a flat fee. What if you didn't get a call? You still paid that flat fee. So sometimes they don't use the common sense, because this is truly a better model than a flat fee model from a business risk standpoint. But they still do, and I've had this time and time again. I leave meetings scratching my head saying, what is wrong with these people? I'm offering a way to get exactly why they spend their advertising dollars, to get more calls, more leads. I'm offering them a way to only pay when those leads come through, and they start, you know, coming up with all the reasons why they don't think it's a good idea for their business, when in actuality it's a great idea, because, you know, if you got them 10 leads and they had to pay a certain dollar amount per lead, at least they had 10 people to talk to. But their mind goes in the totally wrong direction until you build some trust. And generally, they just, because they don't know you, they think that you're gonna send them bogus leads and bogus calls. So when you're getting started, from a business owner desire level, it's still fairly low. It's probably like a 3 or a 4. I put a 3 on here because of my experiences. I ran into a lot of places that literally were like, well, I don't know if they're just going to be a bunch of people that don't want to buy my stuff, or, you know, and what I always told people was, look, you know, my service is to get the marketing up, to bring you the phone calls and bring you the leads. I can't also be on the other line taking your phone calls. What happens if your salesperson has a bad day and they decide to tell the person that they're just not interested, or they don't really try for the close? I go, I'm taking some of the risk here by doing all this marketing up front. So I'm just telling you, I can tell the desire level is still not as high as it is to just get automatic yeses. And that's kind of what I'm trying to show you in these different models, is how you can get those more automatic yeses when you're just starting out, so you don't have to be fearful of prospecting. Okay, so moving on. After that model, we got the pay per sale model. So the pay per sale model is literally going to be what I would attribute to like what you see in the affiliate marketing game. So if AWeber has an affiliate link you can sign up for, then you get paid every time you send them a sale, right? You use your link and they go onto AWeber's page and it's all the way tracked. Now, with online affiliate marketing or pay per sale marketing, it's a little easier to track and it's a little easier. There's not as many variables. In local pay per sale, there's a lot more variables to take into account. So if you send someone a phone call and you have it recorded and you listen to that entire phone call, and maybe at the end of the phone call they said, you know what, I got to check on one thing, let me call you back. You know, there's a variable. Now that next phone call is not recorded, you don't know if that deal closed or not. So you're going to have to follow up directly with the business owner and hope he or she is honest with you on if that deal went down or not. So there is some variables. It's not necessarily something I would not set up a business around. It's just you got to be aware of these things in the pay per sale model. Secondly, in the pay per sale model is you got to try to find items that are going to have a high enough ticket that when the company sells it, you can get enough of a commission that it's worth you waiting. Because as you can imagine, just basic conversion rate, if you were to send a company 10 calls, they're not going to make 10 sales. They're probably going to make 2 or 3 sales. So it's figure out what your cost per lead would be. Like if you charged them on the previous screen on a cost per lead, cost per sale. Let's say you charge the business $20 per phone call, and they did 10 phone calls, you would have been charging them $200. So on a pay per sale model, you're probably going to want to be somewhere around $100 a sale on that exact thing. If you were charging $20 lead, why? Because 10 calls, 2 sales, $100 sale, $200. It ends up being the same thing. So you can work either of those two models, the pay per lead, pay per call, or pay per sale model. You just have to use the math consistently with the two of them. So if you find out the business's close ratio over the phone best, whatever they're going to tell you, and then work your model that way. Also, you can charge a percentage of what their product is, which is probably how you're going to have to charge it. If they make a $500 sale, you can tell them, hey, I normally charge 30%, and if they tell you no, then you negotiate. Okay. So on a desire level, this has got the highest desire level for a business owner, because there's no risk for them. Other than the only thing that's going to lower the desire level is your fee. And that's okay because, you're doing all this work up front and you're going to probably have a little bit of, leakage with, hang-ups and stuff that you don't know about that close because of you. So the owner's desire level is very, very high, and your desire level is going to be a lot lower because this takes you a lot more work to track everything. And, for you, it's much more work. And, also you're really dependent on how good and how well the business that you're working with, how well their processes are. There's oftentimes I've taken over businesses who have horrible processes, and we take the same amount of calls that they were getting or same amount of leads they were getting and turn it into way more money just because we have a better process. So understand it's our lowest level of desire because the control is mostly out of our hands at this point. Okay? All right. So the local arbitrage model. Well, first off, for those of you who don't know what arbitrage is, I don't know even know if I can explain it, but the easiest way to kind of explain it is if I bought something for $10 right now, but before I bought it, I already had someone hand me $20 to buy that exact same item. That's arbitrage. So you basically have something sold at a higher amount before you even buy it. So you really have no risk at all. Okay. So the local arbitrage model is a lot like just, or you can call it local arbitrage or local outsourcing. But the way it would work is you'd go out and you'd find someone who, I'll use the example of a house cleaner who will do work for $13 an hour, and you would go and rank your site and rank your business or whatever niche, in this case a house cleaner, you'd rank that for house cleaning. You start getting all the calls. You take all the calls because, like I said in the previous model, you want the control. Okay, you sell your services for $89 an hour because you're the premium. Your site looks good. You're ranked #1, and you're better at it. You have a better sales script and process. You sell it for $89 an hour. You call up your person that you've contracted at $13 an hour, and then you outsource the work. And this is an arbitrage model. It's like owning a business realistically, but it is also a fantastic model because you can make a ton more money than just being a marketer and taking this small little cut. You can literally run this like a real business and have really good margins on this. So that's the local arbitrage model, and that's a really good place for a lot of people to start because if you take your first local thing you're doing and make it like it's your own business, answer the calls, learn the business, and then just start brokering the stuff out to other people, you'll start learning what local business owners go through, and it will give you a lot more empathy when dealing with them, and it will also help you negotiate with them on all these different models. So to recap all the different stuff we went over, we'll just back up here, the flat fee model, which is good, and it's something that we'll talk about in later videos on how to get to. We talked about the pay-per-call, pay-per-lead model. It's a really good model as well. Just a little tough sell because you got a lot of people, but the visionaries, the ones that understand that they're really good on the phone, they just need more leads, more sales, they will take this model from you. You got the pay-per-sale model, our lowest desired level, but it's a good place to get your foot in the door. No one can say no to you on this. So to get your first place just to get going, get rolling, it's a great way to start. And the local arbitrage model, which I would tell every one of you guys to at least do this one time because you're going to start to see like, wow, man, I can make an extra couple $1,000s by just starting a house cleaning company and outsourcing the work to a company that's really, really failing because they don't know how to market and they don't have enough money to hire me to market or they're too stubborn, whatever. So these are the different models. These are the different, on the local arbitrage level, the levels of desires, I have this one marked as a 10 for the business owner. And why? It's because you're paying them. They advertise maybe on Craigslist that they charge $13 an hour. You're paying them $13 an hour. So they're almost like you're paying them like you're a client of theirs. For the marketer, I put it as a 4 because a lot of marketers want to just be marketers and they don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to be a business owner. But there's a heck of a lot of money to be made there. So if you like that, there's no reason you can't have one or two little small businesses that you have the phone numbers tracking right into your phone. You answer it, you outsource the business, and you're just collecting cash. So these are the models. These are the different desire levels. When you first start out in local marketing, you got to pick your niche or your monetization model first and foremost on how you're going to attack this thing. And like I said, it might not mean you end there, because you might start with a pay-per-sale model, and you might end with the client on a flat fee model because you proved yourself to them. And we'll talk about how to do that later in transitioning trainings. But hopefully this training was helpful for you guys to understand the different models and how they work, and really help you understand how the business owner's desire levels are different for these different models, and why they'll say yes to one thing and no to the other. So that's all for now. We'll see you on the next video. What's going on? Dan Klein here. Today what I want to go over is different prospecting models. Now, it really doesn't matter if you're in local or in network marketing. This is actually a good training just from the sense of it kind of breaks down how fast you're going to get to where you want to be, how fast you're going to get to the money, and the comfort zones that we kind of go through in each of these different levels of prospecting. It's very interesting though when you start seeing the less comfortable models that we have always are the ones that are faster and give you more control of your lifestyle and where you're going to be in life, how fast your business grows. So I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time going through this, because we do have quite a few to go through, but I'm just gonna bang through them real quick, talk about them briefly, why we hit roadblocks, or why we don't do certain ones of these, and just to keep all these in the back of your mind and understand where they line up. I'm gonna have 3 different levels of on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest on control of your success is the first one that you'll see. Speed to money will be the second thing we rate, and the third is comfort. So control, speed, and comfort. Speed to money. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so obviously by far and away the most uncomfortable thing to do is to do any sort of direct phone call, whether even if it's someone that asked you to call them or raised their hand to have you call them. It's just it's for a lot of people it's very, very uncomfortable. But what it does do is it gives you the most control, and it's it's literally the fastest way to the money. You can get on the phone with someone, and by the end of the call, you can have them signed into your program. You can have them signed up for some sort of local marketing agreement, what have you. A direct phone call. I'm not a huge fan of cold calls necessarily, but sometimes in some of the scripts that we'll train, sometimes reaching out, even we kind of make them a lot warmer than cold, because we're not asking for monies on a lot of the calls we make. But a direct phone call in so many instances is the best way to get things moving very fast if you want to speed up your business today. Because guess what? Today you can dial that phone as many times as you want. You don't need anything else more than that cell phone that's right in front of you. It's uncomfortable, and that's why that's at a 1, but your speed to money and your control to success are both 10s. Okay? Direct/mass email. So whether you're sending a direct one-off email or a mass email, I put this as a comfort level of a 10. It's very comfortable. That's why every one of you guys who don't like to jump on the phone will usually go to this model of, I just want to email people out stuff. It's not to say that email doesn't work. It's just that it doesn't give you the control of success or the speed to money that other tactics and the prospecting tactics that we teach. It's a lot slower of a process. You have to hit a lot more people. You have to find these email addresses. There's just a lot more to a direct and mass email prospecting technique. Should you have it as part of your technique? Yeah, why not? It does work. You just have to understand that it is a lower level of success, and it's a slower process to build up a big business. So we got direct custom video email. So this is kind of interesting, because I did this in an earlier training where I actually will do a screencast just like this, where we're talking about that specific business, and then we're literally sending them a one-off email. So it's not generic. It's not like some one video that I made fit for 100 different businesses. It's talking about, their specific business, and we pushed it right to them. So again, your control is going to be a little bit higher, but there's variables in there, because success, what if it's very tough to get them the email, or they never open it, and so there's some variables that could throw you off, and your speed to money is still going to be slower than other things. The comfort for us as marketers is probably in the middle. I'm not going to say it's a 10, like just direct emailing someone, because you got to get on and they got to hear your voice, which some people are very afraid to get on and speak and kind of do what I'm doing right now. And so this does take someone out of the comfort zone, and that's why it actually does work better than just a basic direct email, because it's more customized, it's more around that specific business, and you're putting your own touch. You do get a sales pitch right at these people with your voice, so it's a way to get in front of someone without actually getting in front of them. Direct Facebook. So Facebook's one of those things that I'm not great at it as far as when it comes to from a prospecting, but it's just because I haven't spent a ton of time working it. But I would say the comfort level is pretty high. It's probably around an 8, maybe even a 10, just because we're all used to it. It's very comfortable, and I don't think Facebook yet has been. It's not been outplayed for business building. A lot of the guys that I know are using it like a ton. That's how they build their entire business. So I know there's huge potential for it. But in the local marketing space, going on, getting on their page, liking their page, starting conversations, and then being able to work your way in, I'm gonna say the speed is gonna be a little bit slower probably in Facebook. There's gonna be probably more of conversation. Probably gonna have to ultimately get to a phone call at some point. And the control too, your messages can get weeded out if you send someone a direct message. I went into my messages and a bunch of messages I'd never seen before from months and months ago from people that had tried to write me. So I imagine that happens a ton. So I think Facebook's a good angle to have, and something that you should be definitely looking at, especially in the local space. If you're going to go into the limo niche, go like the different limo companies in town and start a conversation on their page. Very simple. Not to say it's not as great as some of these other things, but understand you can do it. Add it into your mix. Direct mail, we don't ever really talk about this, but I have done this where I'll print off something about the business, like maybe I'll print off their website, circle something in red pen, write something custom about their business. Hey, I'm seeing this about your blah 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 blah. Put it in a yellow envelope, stamp it with an urgent, mail it. Have a courier, pay him $3 to deliver, whatever. Okay, but again, comfort's so high on this because other than having to write something and not feeling like you're gonna screw it up, the speed and the control. It's very low success rate, very low pull through. It's just it can get you leads, it can work, but I mean, honestly, you're better off with some of the tactics we have of some of the ways we do things to not even mess with it. So the walk-in, it's a pretty darn good way of doing things. You can get right in front of the decision maker right now, depending on the type of business, or a lot of the service businesses you may not be able to walk in, but if you're not doing a service-based business and you're going to go do like more of a brick and mortar style, to walk right in, you're in full control. The speed can be incredibly fast because you can get the decision right there on the spot, and the comfort is about as low as possible because again, now that's it's not you hiding behind a computer anymore. It's you having to speak, you're having to be you're having to use your skills. Hire a sales rep. Again, I put the comfort on this kind of low just because you got to spend money, there's still some comfort issues, and then there's also some control to success, and who's to say that they're a good sales rep, and speed to money, it's going to be longer as well, simply because you can have some issues with pay, and that. So I wouldn't right now for anyone. As you get rolling, it's definitely something great to have from a leverage standpoint, but I would say not right now, depending on the position your business in, if you're just getting started. Okay, so warm contact by phone. So this is when you have someone that you know personally that owns a business, and you contact them by phone yourself. So it's a warm contact. So it's not so it doesn't feel so bad. So I'd still put the comfort level. I put it as a 3, but I think it's probably even I don't know, could be even lower. But you are still in very much control here, and your speed to money is very, very quick here. So those are two very, very high things. So always you see when control and speed are high and comfort's very, very low, these are the best tactics that we have to get you money right away. Phone whisper to landing page. So this is when we'd set up, we get some calls going, we put a whisper, hey, this call was sent to you by Dan Klein. Visit danjklein.com for more information. So this is where you wouldn't be doing anything. You'd be literally telling them when they picked up that phone for a lead, before they got to the lead, to, hey, I sent you this free lead, and go to my site if you want to know more about continuing to get these free leads. So people love this idea, and it can work, okay? And most people love it because the comfort level is so high. I got to talk to no one. Obviously, everyone always loves, you know, the little pill that you can eat that takes all your body fat away, and you can eat whatever you want. Unfortunately, that pill doesn't exist. And I'm not saying that this is this pill, but that's why everyone's so attracted to this type of a model. So I think we can understand why the control and speed are where they're at, and the comfort's where it's at. Okay, so the phone whisper with a phone call follow-up. Okay, so I put the comfort level at about a 3 because, again, now this takes us getting on the phone and actually having that real conversation. So you'll notice, again, the phone is a major, major part about building businesses. And I understand we're in the internet marketing business, but we still have to talk to people. Okay, we're not just selling widgets and gadgets and gadgets. When we're doing local marketing, and these are real people, real humans that live in your community that you're going to have to connect with at some point. And if you're scared to do that, you got to get over your fear, get out of the business. Because you know what? I guarantee you, if you want it bad enough, you'll overcome your fears. You'll practice, and you just get on the phone. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. Rank and advertise. So this gets asked a lot. This is, again, very comfortable. I rank a website for Limo, and I put a big banner on the top of that site, and it says, hey, if you want to own this site, or you want to rank site, you want your site ranked just like this, and you're a limo company in town, call me at this number or email me here. So obviously the comfort's super high, but it might take, from a speed standpoint, you might not get anyone to respond to that for 6 months. And so your control to success, you have zero control over your success because no one, you have no ability to make that phone ring or make that person email you. It's only 100% on them, not on you. So I like to put all my success on my shoulders instead of putting it on variables that may or may not fail. Okay, so to recap. So my main thing on this, when we're talking about control success, speed to money, and comfort, is when you're pushed outside your comfort zone, you will control the speed of your money. And I'm pretty sure I spelled your wrong because I'm a horrible speller, but that's fine. Think about this, guys. There's a reason why that's so comfortable, and it could take forever, and unless you have tons and tons of stuff out there, for someone getting started, you don't want to be waiting forever. There's a reason why the comfort zone on that is it's slow. I mean, it can work, but there's a reason why the walk-in comfort is where it's at. It's not that comfortable. There's a reason why the comfort zone on that, you don't do anything. Comfort zone on that and the speed and the control are so high. So get outside your comfort zone. Learn that, yes, rankings and all these things are going to be important. But once you get your rankings, which that's the easy part, I believe, the sales of getting these things positioned with different companies is going to be the thing that really is the game changer. And it's going to be the difference between the people that make a lot of money and the people that just make some money. All right, we'll see you in the next video.
What's up, guys? Brad Campbell here, and in this video I want to give you an SEO overview. So some of you are brand new to SEO, some of you are sort of intermediate, and maybe a few of you are advanced, but I think a lot of you are going to come in here and understand that SEO, or search engine optimization, is basically your ability to rank high in the search engines, and the main search engine obviously is Google. So for all intents and purposes, when I say SEO, I mean your ability to get ranked in Google's organic or free search results. So let's do a search here for lazy MLM. Let me move the screen a little bit. So people come to Google obviously every day, including you. You do searches, and here are the results. Actually, let's do a different one. Weight loss. Okay. If my computer goes here. Okay, so people come and do Google searches. Just for those of you who are super new, and I promise I will try to make this quick for those who are more advanced, but you have ad space up here, okay, and it says, see, these all say ad next to them. Then sometimes Google will include stuff like, you know, a map or their own little listing right here, and then you have ads down the right hand side, okay? So let me hide this. So the top is ads, and the right hand column is ads, and then right here, and actually sometimes see Google experiments with a lot of new things. So like at this is technically part of the organic listings too. Sometimes they'll pull out news stories or do their own little summary right here, whatever it is. But basically right below this ad and right to the left of these ads, this is what's called the organic listings. Okay, so from all of these on down, and they usually list, 10 results. Sometimes if they add something else like this, it's like 11 counting this, but 10 results. These are what's called the organic or free search results, okay? And then this would be considered paid ads, or the name for it is Google AdWords. Okay, so those are entrepreneurs and business owners who are actually paying money to be shown right there, and then when people click on their listing, they get usually charged per click. Okay, so this can be very costly. The benefit is that it's instant, but it can be hard to get approved, and affiliates and network marketers can't really do it because Google doesn't like those. It's not that they don't like those type of sites, it's just that they don't need middlemen paying for ads. They want people who are selling stuff off their own site, so just keep that in mind. For local, AdWords actually can work really well, and Dan knows a lot about that. But the foundation of everything we're going to teach you as far as how to monetize, how to rank and bank, is this SEO. And when we say SEO, we mean this right here, these free organic listings. Okay, so these are 100% free. Yes, we'll have some costs involved, just like any business, but we're not paying to be here. And so the question is how do we get to the top? Because studies show as well, I should note this, that people are getting more and more what's called ad blindness. So they know these are ads, and they're actually way more likely to click on these organic listings right here because they know people aren't paying for the results. So you're going to get a lot more traffic and a lot more clicks if you can master this. Plus, it's technically free, whereas this is going to cost you every single time someone visits your site. Okay, so that's how I've made so much money personally online, so much profit, which is why I consider my alter ego the profit pimp, is because when I say I make $40,000 in a month like I did last month, that was almost all profit. Yes, I have some baseline costs, but really my monthly costs these days are very minimum as far as my Lazy MLM blog, because I've already kind of put in a little bit of money to build my foundation to get ranked, and that was back in the day, and now I don't really have to do any links or any work. I just blog once in a while, so that's almost all profit. So getting here, believe me, is the name of the game. That's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to teach. That's what we're going to build the foundation of our business around, whether you're a network marketer, whether you're an affiliate marketer, whether you're doing local SEO, either the local affiliate model that we'll explain, or selling local SEO to your local dentist or whatever it is. You want to get them right here. I'm not saying that you can't do YouTube videos and social media marketing and AdWords and paid ads to supplement that. If you want, you don't really need to, but if you want, you can. But this is the name of the game. So 90% of what we focus on inside the click is just becoming a gangster at ranking high on page 1 of the organic free results in Google. Because when you know how to do that, and you can rinse and repeat and do this in any industry, in any niche, for any keywords, you can literally write your own paycheck. Okay, and right now what we're going to be teaching you, it absolutely works 100% of the time as long as you follow through. Okay, so this is where we're trying to rank. And just so to give you an example, if you're a network marketer and you're in Qzx900, we're going to teach you, how to get ranked for buyer keywords for people who already want to buy what you're selling. So you might want to rank for best Qzx900 products. You might want to rank for best Qzx900 sponsor. You might want to rank for how to buy Qzx900 online. All right, you want to be right here. If let's say this girl is selling Qzx900, I'm sure she's making quite a bit of money, right? This is where all the money is at. So if you're a network marketer, if you're doing local SEO for your local dentist, Chandler, Arizona dentist, you want to be right here, these top organic listings. Now in local, there's also something called Google Places, Google Maps, Google Local, whatever you want to call it, where Google will organize right here and put a map and a phone number and reviews and stuff like that. And that's just kind of something they do. We also know how to optimize these. It's a little bit less scientific than this, but what's cool is you'll see in most local searches, the organic listings, which remember, this is ads, these are ads, these are 3 organic listings, then you have Google Maps, then you have the rest of the organic listings. So the organic listings are actually above the maps, so it's still like this is where most of the money is at, and then maps are important too. Obviously, Dan gets a lot of business off of his maps listings. But here, we found that these will basically follow the root domain. So if you get your domain that you're working on for yourself or your client ranked and optimized and ranked high on page 1 for all the terms, generally speaking, they're gonna climb to the top of the maps as well. So it just kind of follows suit. And with maps, you just want reviews, pictures, videos. You want to fill it out completely. And do what's called local citations. And so if and when you go and get local clients, just remember to ask us about maps, and we'll give you sort of the blueprint on how to optimize your maps. And then the majority of our course is on these organic listings right here. So we want to be right here, and maybe run an AdWords campaign for them right here if they're willing to spend the money on it. Okay, so that's a little bit about Google search results and sort of the different terms and what I mean when I say SEO and free listings. So this is where we're trying to get. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how we're going to get there. Okay, so there are basically 3 simple parts, right? You have your blog. Okay, let's say this represents your blog. You have your content on your blog. And then you have votes or backlinks coming in to your blog. This is literally the 3 parts. These are links, and links are just basically votes. There are other websites, blogs, properties, whatever it is, that have put a clickable link through to your blog, to your content. Okay, so this is the 3 parts. So if you have the right kind of blog, the right kind of content, and the right kind of links, you will rank number 1, or at least on top of page 1 in Google in the free organic listings, and that's what we're trying to get. 3 parts: the right blog, the right content, and the right links. Okay, now for some of you who are doing local SEO, what's cool is you might not have to touch their blog or their content. You might have to tweak it a little bit. You might just give them suggestions and have their webmaster do it. That's usually how we prefer to do it. And I don't want to cover too much in this video. Again, this is just about the overview, but I'm just trying to think of questions as they might come up in your mind. Like let's say you're leaning towards local. You might go, well, geez, I don't know how to make sites for dentists and stuff like that. Typically, they're already going to have a site made. They're already going to have a web guy. And, if they do need changes made, to save your time and spend their money and not yours. I typically just make a list or make a little screencast video of what I want changed, and I say, hey, give this to your web guy and make sure he does these changes. Okay, so I typically tend to not even like to touch their sites because it saves me time and effort, and it keeps me from messing something up, and it keeps me from having to learn super technical stuff. Okay. So just know that if you're doing your own blog, obviously, we're going to show you how to set up Google-friendly blogs that are going to rank high or have the highest likelihood of ranking high in Google, because there are certain things that Google likes to see that will make your blog rank higher and faster. And then content, that's the second thing. That's huge. I would say the blog plus the content is maybe 30 to 40% of the overall ranking, equation, so to speak. And then these links are, 60 to 70%. So links still, or the votes coming in, are still the primary driving force for getting you to the top of page 1 in Google. So this stuff is really quick and easy to learn, and we'll obviously be covering that. I have an awesome on-page SEO checklist that I created, and Dan and I did a video on-page optimization and took you through an example on lazy MLM. And then that checklist, you want to follow that verbatim, because that'll show you how to really structure your content in a way that Google loves. And when you do that right, when you do the blog right and the content right and follow that on-page checklist, what's cool is you need way fewer of these links. Okay? A lot of people don't understand that. So they get, this wrong, and this is not very good or not very well optimized. And then what happens is they need to spend a lot more time and energy getting these votes, because they have strikes against them on their blog and within their content that they don't even realize. Okay, so you need to understand that we want to optimize every piece, but especially 1 and 2, because this is quick and easy and free. And this is where the manual labor and the expenses come in. Okay, so the more we optimize 1 and 2, and I know this is getting really sloppy, the less time, the less energy, the less effort, and the less money we'll have to spend on our links. And that's a proven fact, and it's only going to become more important going forward. So you want a really well optimized, lightweight, Google-friendly blog that's structured the right way, that Google can read, that their robots can find and figure out what you're talking about really easily. Again, we cover all this in future videos. And then your content, man, the more compelling it is, the longer, the more in-depth, the more comprehensive, the better written, the better it flows, the more pictures and videos, and the best user experience that you can provide, the more interaction. All those things play into it. And again, I cover all of them, but this is free and easy and fast, and so you want to maximize these 2 parts so that this becomes a lot easier. And then when you do that and use the techniques we're going to be teaching you to go out and manufacture these votes, I mean, you can just, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, it's so easy, it's almost not even fair. Okay, so let's clear this off and go over to lazymlm.com. Okay, so for those who are really new, of course, this is what I mean when I say a link. Anything that's basically clickable. So if I click Brad Campbell, that's a link. Let's go back here. With a link, if there are words here, or a sentence or one word, this is what's called the anchor text of the link. Okay, so the link is actually the clickable part that takes me to another page on the web. Okay, the anchor text in this case is Brad Campbell. The anchor text in this case is pound your mouse right here. The anchor text in this case, see, this is all clickable, is this entire title. The anchor text in this case is case studies. Okay, the anchor text in this page on this link is see this coaching page. Now, if I had a link that was clickable right here, but it was like it looked like this, that's what's called a naked link, or a raw URL. It doesn't have an anchor text. Okay, it's still clickable, it's still a link, it still clicks through to another page on the web, in this case my about page, but I didn't use words to describe the link, so it's a raw or a naked link. Okay, it's still a link. Anything that's clickable is a link. So this is what we want coming into our site, links, right? These links are votes. Google looks at these as votes. And ranking in Google in the free organic section that I just showed you is essentially a popularity contest. Once you have the right blog and the right content, it just comes down to links, and it's a popularity contest. So the better the votes you have and the higher the quality the votes you have, the higher you rank, the faster you rank, and the longer you rank. Okay, so you get your blog right, you get your content right, and you go out and get the right types of links. Now what we're going to teach you is the ultimate, most high quality types of links so that you need the fewest amount. Okay, so it's going to be faster and easier. Again, we do spend a little bit of money to acquire sort of our sites that we use to link from, but trust me, it goes way faster than anything else you could possibly do. Okay, so remember, this is a link, and the more links and the better links. Now, what do I mean when I say better links? Well, you could get a link from any site on the entire web, right? But obviously, just use a little common sense here. If you're Google, which types of votes would you give more weight to? You know, like what types of votes would mean something to you? Let's say I want Lazy MLM to rank for, best MLM company, okay? And I go out and I get 10 links, okay? And one of those links is a link from a porn site, right? Like there's a random link to my site from a porn site, okay? So obviously a porn site is not related to what I'm talking about. It's kind of scuzzy. It's kind of frowned upon. It's kind of dirty. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it's a link. It's a vote. Okay, how much weight do you think Google gives to that link? Not very much, right? That should be obvious. Okay, now let's say one of my links is from Wikipedia, from Wikipedia's page on MLM or network marketing, and it's linking to me. Now, do you think that vote would give me more of a boost in rankings? They're both links, both one link from each site, okay? One vote coming in from each site. Now, the porn link would probably not help me at all. If anything, it might hurt me because, yes, if you have too many negative sites linking to you, it could actually do you more harm than good. So not all links are created equal, and some are even bad for you. But generally speaking, it's hard to get bad links unless someone's just out to get you. But the Wikipedia link, of course, is going to be one of the strongest links I could possibly get because it's from an authoritative, highly respected, just ridiculous traffic site that Google loves, that ranks for everything, and it gets millions and millions of visitors. Do you see the difference there? And it's from a topically relevant page. It's from Wikipedia's page on MLM, linking to me, to my page about best MLM company. So it's topically relevant. It's from a reputable source. And so that would be like the ultimate link. So one link from Wikipedia could be worth like thousands of links from, low quality sites or unrelated sites. You see what I'm saying? So what makes the quality go up from a link, and remember, the higher the quality of the links, the fewer we need, the less work we have to do, the less money we have to spend. So you want to go for quality so that we can be as efficient as possible. You want it to be relevant. You want it to be what's called in context. And what that means is not a link up here in your nav bar, not a link here in your sidebar, not a link down in your footer, a link here right within your content. Okay, that's called like a citation. So if I'm doing a sports article and I'm talking about the game last night and I link off to a site on this athlete and it's within my content, that's called an in context. It's within the context of the body of the article. Okay. That typically means one author is giving props to another author or blogger or website owner. Okay, so Google gives that more love. Okay, now remember, if it's up in the nav bar or in the sidebar or in the footer, that's something that you could pay for, or you could just stick in there when you're just trying to get links. It's easier. It doesn't mean much. It's site wide. Like, this nav bar shows up on every page of my site. This sidebar shows up on every page of my site. So it's overkill, it's redundant, it looks a little bad. Whereas this looks more natural. It looks like I'm giving props to someone if I'm linking off to their site. Okay, so relevant, in context, and then this anchor text that we talked about. This is important. This tells Google the words that you use to describe the link tells Google what the resulting page is about. Okay, so if you use a naked URL here like this, well, it tells Google's robot that it's going to click through to this, and it's about lazymlm.com/about, which really doesn't mean much, right? Because we're not trying to rank for lazymlm.com/about. But if we would instead use an anchor text like I did here called Brad Campbell, that tells Google that this page right here, because this is what it clicks to, is about Brad Campbell. So that's actually going to help this page rank for this term, Brad Campbell. That's why the anchor text becomes important. It tells Google what the link is about. So the more we can describe our link here, the better chances we have of ranking for it. So my ultimate link in this hypothetical messy example, if I wanted to rank for best MLM company, let's say, would probably be like a link from Wikipedia on their page about MLM with an anchor text of best MLM company. That would be like about as good as it could get, okay? In the middle of their article, okay? It would be relevant, it would be in context, it would be from an authority site. And it would have anchor text that describes the keyword I'm trying to rank for. Now that's really sloppy, so let's just actually like go to Wikipedia, for example. Let's just search for MLM, because Google loves Wikipedia and they're first for everything. So this is why I say this would be the ultimate link, because whatever Google respects the most, I mean, that's what you want the links from, okay? So Wikipedia is number one. It's hard to argue that they would look. I mean, look at their Alexa rank. There's only 5 websites in the entire world that, you know, have more traffic than they do. Google loves them. They rank for everything. So this is a Wikipedia page. This is obviously topically relevant. This is a high authority site. Here, see all these links right here? Now, most of the time they're just linking to their own stuff, but if I had a link on this page right here, it's authoritative, it's topically relevant. Let's say it was right here, it would be in context. And then let's say they happen to say best MLM compensation plan as the anchor text. In this case, remember this anchor text is direct selling. But let's say this was a link to me and it said best MLM compensation plan, and it linked to my page on best MLM compensation plan. This would be like the ultimate link. It's authoritative, it's relevant, it's in context, and it has an anchor text that describes what I'm talking about. It doesn't get much better than that. If such a link existed, I pretty much guarantee I would be number one in Google with no other links. Why? Because the quality of that link is just absolutely perfect. It's pretty much as high as you could possibly get. Now, contrast that with a link from a porn site, from the footer of a porn site. Let's just go down here. And this is just really silly example, because I don't know why you'd ever get a link from a footer in a porn site, but you know, this is like your footer, okay? Let's say they put some link to your site down here in their footer, and this is a really scuzzy, shady, low quality porn site, and this links to you, okay? It's not topically relevant, it wouldn't be in context. Let's say it was a naked link, like it just said lazymlm.com, it would have no anchor text. It's just bad on all accounts, okay? It's just it's not going to help you at all. If anything, it might hurt you, okay? So that's sort of the difference. But remember, these links are votes, and the better votes we have and the more we have, the higher, the faster, the easier, the longer term we're going to rank in Google. Okay, that's all we want to do, is have a good blog, good content, and then go out and get good votes. That's the name of the game. It's 3 simple things. Once you have your blog done, you really don't have to think about that again. That's taken care of. Once you understand what makes good content and you go through that on-page checklist, you're not really gonna, that's gonna be second nature for you. You know, when you go and create a new blog post or article or video or whatever it is, you're just automatically going to do the right things. Like Wikipedia is the golden example too. I mean, you just see how they optimize things, and this is all stuff I go over, but with their permalink, with their title, bolding the keyword, okay, interlinking, flows well, comprehensive, awesome, share-worthy content. Okay, that's the name of the game. So you'll do the blog, you'll learn how to do the content properly, and then the only other thing you'll ever have to think about or really work at is the third part, which is acquiring these votes. Okay, so now a little bit about these votes. So you might be saying, okay, sounds good. So what do? Go ask Wikipedia for a link? If only it were that easy. And that's why the SEO is such a huge in-demand, hot market, and it's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, because if you know how to shortcut and speed up this process, you can write your own check. You can rank for anything. You can monetize it any way you want to, okay? And we're going to tell you about all those different strategies that we use to monetize it, okay? You can rank your own stuff. You can rank client stuff. You can rank MLM stuff, network marketing stuff, affiliate stuff, anything. You can sell stuff off Amazon, off ClickBank, off eBay. You could sell your own products and services. You could sell coaching. You could rank sites and rent pages. You could rank your own sites, capture leads, and sell the leads. Okay, all kinds of stuff. We'll get to all of that. I'm just excited, so I'm like going off on tangents, but that's the name of the game. Okay, so let's talk about the third and most important and hardest to go out there and do piece of this, which is number 3, the votes, the links. It's the hardest thing. The blog's easy. The content, after you go through that once, that's easy. Okay, so the third part and most important part, these links, this is hard to get, right? Because you can't just make your blog, write your content, and cross your fingers and hope that people start finding you and Wikipedia starts linking to you. No one's going to find you. It's not going to happen. So you need to start that process yourself. And ideally, if your content is strong enough, the cool thing is that like with Lazy MLM, I jump-started this process exactly how I'm going to teach you how to do it. But then once I got ranked and people started finding my site, people link to it and they share my stuff, and it takes on this organic, sort of vote acquisition. So these links start coming to you automatically without you having to go out and ask for them and do them, because your content's so good. So that's another reason why you have to put your heart and soul into your content if you're creating your own content. If you're doing local SEO, you just need to make sure your client's content is solid. Okay. So how do you go out and get these? Well, you could go out to social media accounts and link to yourself, and you probably should. You can go do press releases and link back to yourself, and you probably should. You can make YouTube videos and link to yourself in the description, and you probably should. You can tell friends and family and encourage them to share it on their social media accounts. Remember, anything that clicks back to you is a link. So if someone goes and shares your post on Facebook, and they put it in their newsfeed, and they can click, and their friends can click through that link to yours, that's a vote. So that's a link. Okay, so there are lots of different ways to get links. The real links, though, remember I say, come from topically relevant, authoritative sites that are in context, so in the middle of, let's say, a big article with the proper anchor text. So obviously a Facebook link in your timeline, well, that's definitely good, and that's going to help you. That doesn't meet a lot of the criteria. It's not topically relevant. It's not in context. It's not going to have the anchor text. And it's probably what's called a no-follow link, which means they put some code on it to where the link juice from Facebook doesn't really pass to you. That's a little bit more advanced than I want to get in this video, but I'm just trying to sort of really hammer home what makes a good link. Okay, so the other way to really go out and get these ideal links, because ultimately that's what we're after, any link you can get that's not from a scuzzy site is probably going to help you. But remember, we want to spend our time going after the links that are going to make us rank the highest, the fastest, and for the longest term. So that's these types of links. So how do we get those? The only real way to go out and do it is go out and just ask other website owners who have sites that you would want a link from, ask them to link to you. Okay, and most of them are going to say no or not respond, because why would they scratch your back if you've never done anything for them? Okay, so then the other thing to do would be scratch their back and they'll scratch yours. So the thing is, though, if you have a brand new site that's just starting off, you don't have much value, right? What can you really offer them? Let's say you're a MLM blog, and I have my Lazy MLM blog over here making probably like $60,000 in April 2014, and you're a brand new blog, you're not making any money, you're not offering to pay me, you have no followers, so you don't really have anything that can benefit me, and you say, hey Brad, can you link to me in your next article? Well, I'm going to say, what's in it for me? What can you do in return? And you might say, well, I could link back to you from my blog. Well, I don't need a link from your blog because your blog has no authority. Google doesn't respect it. They don't even know it exists yet. It's not going to help me, okay? You want links from sites that have PageRank and, you know, ideally maybe some traffic or a long history in Google that Google respects, okay? So a link from my site is going to be worth quite a bit versus a link from a brand new site or a site that Google, you know, doesn't hardly know about, or a site with, you know, not much content, no incoming links to it, is not gonna give the end site much of a boost. So, you know, if Joe Blow with his brand new MLM blog links to me, it's not going to do much for my site because Joe Blow's blog is irrelevant, insignificant, according to Google. You know, it needs to get some authority. It needs to be around for a year or 2 or 3 years. It needs to get some content built out. It needs to get some page rank. Okay, it needs to get some love, some shares, some tweets, some signals that this is a high quality site. And then when you get a link from it, then it's going to do something for you. So again, going to an established website owner or like a Wikipedia, which is the most extreme example, there's no way they're ever going to link to you. It's just not going to happen. And it's hard to even go to, you know, a site like mine and get a link to you because there's nothing in it for me. I'm not going to link out to someone just to help them when it doesn't help me at all. So basically, and that's basically the next thing you could do is you could offer to guest post. So you could go to other, let's say you're trying to rank for an affiliate weight loss product, you could go to other weight loss blogs in your niche, and this is a little bit more doable. It's just a lot of manual effort, and you go and contact other relevant authoritative weight loss blogs and you say, hey blogger, like your blog, I have a similar blog, I think I have something really cool that I can share with your audience, would you allow me to do a guest article here? And if they say yes, you write an awesome guest article for free, so you spend hours writing this awesome post, then you submit it to them, and then you just ask them for a link back to your site in exchange for the content you just gave them. So that's more of us, you know, you scratch their back, they'll scratch yours. That's a little bit more doable as long as you're approaching sites that are kind of on your level, okay? So that can work. Having done that before, it's frustrating, it's time consuming because you might have to reach out to 10, 20, 30 sites before you get a yes. So it's kind of like the old, you know, it's the online version of like going and knocking on doors and asking for favors. You know, it's kind of hard, it kind of sucks, but you know, if you want it bad enough and you don't want to spend any money and you know you understand you need these links, it can be done. So that's something you can totally do. What we prefer to do, I'll just get right to the point, is we prefer to go out and just make our own authoritative, relevant sites that we own and have full control over that we can link from anytime we please, okay? So even though this is pretty complicated and I covered a lot and some of you are completely new to this, does that make sense that if these links are what we need and they're hard, the right ones are hard, really hard and time consuming to come by, does it make sense that if we could just go out and own 5 or 10 sites that would provide ideal links, if we could just own them and have full control over them and not have to ask, not have to beg, not have to do favors, and we could just own them and go log in and make links back to our site? If I wanted to rank for Brad Campbell, I could go to this site I owned and make a link and have the anchor text say Brad Campbell and point to this page, let's say, that I want to rank for Brad Campbell. Does that make sense that that would probably be the easiest, the fastest, and you'd have the most control over everything? I hope you're saying yes, because it absolutely does, and that's what we do, okay? So you may have heard this called like private blog network or PBN, and basically, yeah, you're going out and you're acquiring a little network or a little group of websites or blogs, okay? And you're doing so in a way to where you're only getting sites that Google already likes, and then you're starting them over from a clean slate and theming them out so that they are topically relevant to what you're talking about, and then you're going and inserting the links that you need to the pages that you want to rank for your sites or your client sites. So that is what we're doing. Again, just let me drive this home, and then I'll wrap this overview up. Let's just use this so it's like a blank area. This is your site or your client's site. Let's just put W for website. So this is what you want to rank, and then you're going to be we're going to show you how to go out and acquire other sites. Okay, these sites are authoritative. That's a really bad A. These sites are going to be topically relevant, and you're going to have full control over them. Okay, so that means they're going to be really high quality links, and you can go out and get links anytime you want from them. So it's really going to speed up the process, but because they're authoritative and relevant, and the links are going to be in context, the perfect links that Google loves to see, and we can use whatever anchor text we want. Well, that means that these are really high quality, and we only need a few of them to get ranked. So here's the website you want to rank. These are our network of sites that we go out and get, and then we push votes back to our site. And it's fast, and we have full control, and it's the highest quality link you can get. And so what we've seen is that, sometimes in local markets, just 2 or 3 of these types of links can pretty much get you to the top of page 1. In more competitive markets, something like an empowered network, you might need more like 20 or 30. Okay, but it will always rank you, even in cutthroat markets. It's just that the higher the competition, the more you'll need. In the grand scheme of things, even 20 of these means you'd have to go out and get 20 sites that you own to be able to link from. That's still like exponentially faster and easier than going out and getting 20 similar links from sites that you don't own, which is going to be just like this huge, tedious, ridiculous process where you're going to have to be begging and cutting favors and writing all kinds of free content and doing all kinds of things. Okay, so again, we're going to make the right blog, we're going to make the right content or have the right content for our local clients, and then we're going to get the right links. And how we're going to get the right links is we're going to go out and we're going to acquire sites that we can build the perfect backlinks from. So backlinks, remember, are the votes, and the better the votes and the more votes you have, the higher you rank in this guy right here, Google. And that means pretty much as much of this stuff as you want to make. Okay, guys, I know I was all over the place. I know I covered a lot. Without a doubt, some of you will have questions, but it was important for me to make this so that you kind of have an understanding of what I'm even going to be talking about as we go through. And just remember, guys, this is coaching. This is coaching. This isn't a video course. Obviously, we have sort of the videos that map out the blueprint, because that's just smart, that's efficient. We don't want to have to reteach this on an individual basis to everyone. But remember, this is just so that you can get 90% of it, so we don't have to repeat ourselves nonstop to every new client that signs up, because we're going to have a ton of people signing up. But with that being said, we are here to help you and hold your hand. Do not let any of this technical stuff scare you or turn you off or paralyze you, with this fear of the unknown, or, wow, that sounds complicated. It's not hard. It's always going to feel a little uncomfortable at first, but you're going to have to jump in and do it, and it's going to become second nature so freaking fast, I guarantee you. And every step along the way where you feel unsure, scared, helpless, whatever, guess what? You go to the Facebook group, you say, hey, Profit Pimp #1 Stunna, I was following through this step on this video. I see what you did here. I got to this step. Now I don't know what to do. What's up? We're here to hold your hand. You're never going to get stuck, because we're always here to help you. So if you go through something and you don't understand it, you have questions, you get stuck, you're confused, just ask. And then we'll help you, and we'll get over it. There's nothing here that we can't overcome together. So this is coaching, right? This isn't just another lame video course. We are here to help you and support you and make sure that you never get stuck on anything. So this is just the overview. It's a lot to take in for newbies that have never done SEO before, but trust me, the blueprint is going to be over the shoulder in the videos that follow. And then the real benefit, though, what you're really paying for, is our support and our ability to be there, to hold your hand, to answer your questions, to get you over these hurdles, to help you out, especially if you're like a Champagne Room client. We're going to be even helping you do a lot of this stuff. So that's that, guys. Hit me up with any questions. Hit us up in the Click Facebook group, and then continue on with the videos. Talk to you soon. Peace.